I'm Jessica Holsapple, and this is the Systems Culture Growth Podcast. And today I'm with my guest, Brandon Nicastro of GCS Glass Mirror. And Brandon and I have known each other for several years, and I have been kind of watching him from a distance on social media grow his business since 2013. So it's been a fascinating journey to watch as a onlooker, and I'm excited to learn more about Brandon and GCS Glass Mirror. So Brandon, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit about GCS Glass Mirror. Who do you typically service? What type of products or services do you provide?
The main product we provide is shower doors, like frameless shower doors in particular. We don't do like the builder series frame shower doors. So we do anywhere from your normal retail customer to a high-end custom builder or even a homeowner that's building a custom home. Shower doors is the main product we sell, but we also sell mirrors, anywhere from custom steel frame mirrors to gym mirrors. Wine cellars are really popular nowadays. We get into some glass handrails and stairs and all that as well. We stay away from windows, kind of repairs and that type of stuff. Mainly your frameless type glass and your higher end glass is what we do.
Amazing. So is that primarily residential or commercial as well?
It's primarily residential. We do a little bit of commercial as far as like multifamily. Maybe we've done a couple hotel casinos, shower doors for them, and some handrail stuff for like the Biltmore resort. They just redid all that. We did a pool fence, a glass pool fence for them, and some deck rails and a whole bunch of shower doors. But that's kind of the gist of commercial that we do. It's really just residential.
Yeah, I can imagine that you're incredibly busy right now with all of the real estate going on. And although I've never done any construction on my own home, I work a lot with real estate agents and companies. So I get to tour like super cool houses, and it's kind of incredible to see what mirrors look like nowadays. Like if you want a super fancy, well-lit mirror, or just, I mean, there's few things more beautiful than like a well-done bathroom with like a nice shower. So I appreciate the art.
It's insane right now. The market's just wide open for construction. And it's getting bad just because of demand with products and stuff. You know, we're hitting some barriers and stuff trying to get products for people, but hopefully it's looking up here pretty soon, but we'll just keep doing what we can do. Yeah.
Well, I'd love to hear about all of the different twists and turns your business has taken, especially in the last couple of years, and kind of what the supply chain looks like right now, and maybe how that's affected you, because I think that's somewhat fascinating. Just a little compliment. I was visiting your website, and first of all, it's like beautifully designed. So whoever did that is really taking into consideration the type of time and care you must take with your clients. So that's kind of a window shopper. Like we go to websites now to see what a company's all about. So compliments on that. And then a very specific thing I noticed was that at the bottom, you had a little disclaimer about the supply chain, and just letting your customers know that there is a little bit of a delay. And I just thought that was such a minor thing, but like for a service industry, as a customer, if I'm going to someone's website and they're giving me like a little bit of a warning, like it just helps set expectations up front. And I know that on the back end of managing expectations, particularly with a construction client, that could be really difficult. So just wanted to say that was a little thing that I think goes like a long way.
That's what we try to do, is customer service and customer expectation. We're trying to give the customer the best experience they can have. And we're upfront with them. We tell them our lead times. This is what they are. It can change obviously at any moment, but this is kind of what they're running right now. And we've lost jobs from it for sure, because we're not going to go in there and tell a customer, yeah, we can do it. And we lose a customer because of timeline. Someone else says they can do it, when we all know in the industry you can't do it in a certain timeline, and people are making promises they can't make. So
yeah. And let me ask you, in 2013, is that when you started, or you started a little before that?
No, I started in 2013. I think I officially opened the business in 2013, but in like August, I got the LLC, and I officially went into business for myself January 1 of 2014.
That's awesome. So the same thing you just said, where managing expectations and turning down business that you can do in 2021 as your business is booming. You probably have more demand than you have supply right now. Were you able to do the same thing in year one of your business, or were you was that trial and error of learning?
Year one was really well. I was an owner operator then. I went out there and I did all the installs myself. I was a sales guy. I was ordering. I project managed. I did everything, schedule and all that. So I had a helper, and we were busy. Like, I was busy full time from as soon as I left my job and started my company. It was just busy nonstop. Till this day, I don't think, like, people say, oh, it's our slow season. We don't have a slow season. Wow. Like, it's always busy. Like, it's consistent. We might have like a week where we're like, oh, it's a little slower than normal. Let's try to catch up. And then the next week, it's just crazy again. So it's been consistent for 8 years. Congratulations
on that. That's amazing. And you said you basically wore all the hats in your business year one. How has that changed now in 2021? You just shared with me that you're sitting in your home office, which I said is unusual for your industry. Usually guys are out, with tools in their hands, right, and trying to lead their team and trying to take phone calls with their customers. So how are you able to sit on that side, and how has it changed from you doing all the roles?
It's a lot different because now, literally, if I wanted to, I can retire right now and not have to do anything in my company. I've built it in a way to sell it or walk away if I need be. But I'm controlling. So I'm a workaholic. So I'm always looking for that next thing and growth and all that. So, my role now is mainly I get to sit back and focus on the business. I get to look at it from an outsider's viewpoint and actually see what's wrong with our business. And I get to critique my guys and be like, look, we got to do this, or we implement this to make this process better. And that's kind of business development, I guess, is where I'm at with my own company now instead of actually working in it. So
that's incredible. And congratulations on all your success, considering that we're the same age, mid-20s. It's very impressive that you've been able to build your business as such and sit in a role that sounds like it's well suited for you now, where you can look at the growth, see how to optimize internally, look for areas to improve your customer service. So that's a big change of pace from being someone working inside the business. A lot of owners are thinking about the future and wanting to build and grow, and they have all these incredible ideas, but they don't feel like they have the time to stop and implement those because they're putting out all the fires. So it sounds to me that was a conscious decision from you from the beginning of your business. So what kind of systems allow you to do that, to streamline the workflow, to allow you to sit back and take a more CEO approach of your business?
I would say about 4 or 5 years ago, we created our own ERP system. So we started developing our own CRM ERP system, and that's helped out a lot because that's eliminated employees in the office and it helps be able to track jobs a little bit better than having to, work off of paper. So all of our guys have iPads in the field. Everything is digitally, so they have it within an instant. So when someone measures a shower, it automatically is in the office and we can order it or quote it or whatever we need to do. And just those systems, like in the beginning, I used to will call all our glass. So I'd drive down to the manufacturer every morning to pick up glass for the install for that day. But I'd get down there, glass would be wrong. Like it came in scratched, it came in chipped, it's the wrong size. So then you're canceling jobs last minute. So then once I was able to grow a little bit and get a shop, I saved money by getting a shop just so I didn't have to drive down to the manufacturer every day. And every time glass came in, we would actually check our own glass, and then we wouldn't schedule it until glass has been checked and received. And then we can schedule it to install. So then we save time that way. And I think a lot of people just don't realize how much time is wasted on little things that they think is just a part of the business. And you can save so much time in so many different areas.
So true. I used to work in the food and beverage industry. And so what you're talking about is like checking and receiving inventory, making sure your orders are right, making sure your vendors are providing good things. And working in the kitchen, I'm now reading Anthony Bourdain, Kitchen Confidential. So the colorful language that you would share with your vendor if they got something wrong, but creating a system to help you eliminate the drive time, the sit time to make sure the person's going to show up to allow you to check on the equipment or that you're picking up. What happens if it's wrong? Then you have to leave, go do a job, come back at some other time. What if their shop's closed? So sounds like you're less reliant on your vendors and other things, and you're more internally reliant on your systems to be effective and efficient.
And that's kind of what we did, was just let's put the pressure on ourselves, and everything that we can take away from somebody else messing up, let's try to do it in-house. So like, as far as a lot of people order a shower door with hardware. So like a vendor will send you a shower door with the hardware and glass as a whole unit. Well, we just order glass from our vendor because we stock all of our hardware.
Wow.
So now we can control, if a piece of hardware comes in missing, we have extra. If it comes in the wrong color, we have that extra. We have that other color. We can switch it. When the guys are in the field and color gets missed and we have the wrong color, we have safety kits on all the trucks to be able to switch out hardware for the basic stuff, so we don't have to come back to that house. Little things like that add up and cost a lot of money. So, and then now looking forward with COVID and the supply chain and everything happening right now, we have bought so much hardware and we have hardware shortages. So we've bought so much hardware. We have a good stock of hardware that we're not affected too much with the increases in price, because we've already have a ton of hardware and we're able to kind of keep purchasing it. Even though it takes longer to get, we still have a whole bunch of hardware. So it kind of helps us out with our demand and getting showers to customers.
That's so smart. And you had mentioned you're, controlling, or, I'm a recovering control freak myself, and most entrepreneurs are, right? So it's like we have a clear vision in mind. We know how we want things executed, or at least we know how we don't want things executed. So it sounds like you're putting controls inside your business that allow you to control for a lot of things that generally could go wrong, or you're anticipating that they could go wrong. So you're trying to control those things. And I bet that when things do go, things that you can't predict, it feels like it's a lot more in your control, because you're not putting out all these little things. Like you can focus on, okay, I didn't expect a truck to go down today, right?
Yeah.
And that feels like less of a crisis when you're only dealing with one crisis a day versus 25 crises.
Yeah. And the big things that I look at, and my guys look at it a little bit different than I do, but it's like I concentrate on the small things because it's the small things that we mess up repeatedly. So if we can nip those in the butt, then the big things are fine, because those are things that are gonna happen, but we can fix the small things, right? And that's kind of what I focused on. And then I used to be a screamer, I guess, and I used to be hard to work for, and because I was so controlling, and I'm a perfectionist, and when I can't do something myself and someone's out there and I'm trying to explain it, and you get frustrated. But as the business has grown, I've backed off of that, and I've gone a different approach and just let things go. We talk about it, and when it happens, it's done with. Like, we talked about it, let's just move on. And I can literally, because you can't just keep beating somebody down for it. So it's just one of those things to you got to let some control go. Yeah.
And I don't know if you're a Jocko Willink fan, but he talks about extreme ownership, right?
I read the book.
Yeah. Great. So, I had a similar experience when early on in being a young manager. It was like, why aren't we all just following my direction? I'm laying it out clearly. I'm telling you exactly what to do, and this is the direction we should go. And I was trying to be a rah-rah cheerleader and things like that, but wasn't taking the time to understand each of each area of need, right? And then creating the solutions. So it sounds like instead of externally blaming or screaming at your staff, you're going, all right, I can only control myself, my leadership. This is my company. I want to take the reins of it. I'm going to take extreme ownership over it. And you're going to look for all of the inefficiencies in your business and set controls for those and then train. So I would imagine that people think you're, a detail freak, or like, that's, like you said, that's not a big deal. Why are you concerned about this? But you're seeing from a financial standpoint, from a headache standpoint, that if you're zooming back, you're taking a look at all of those areas to eliminate inefficiencies that might not seem to a big deal to someone else, but they add up to you as the business owner. So just taking that time, and it also sounds like it allowed you to shift your perspective of like not having to micromanage outside on the field, because you have all of these systems and controls in your business to eliminate little inefficiencies, so that when the big things come that only you can deal with, you have the capacity to deal with those.
Exactly. And we track everything. So every time we have a go back, we call them go back. So if we have a repair or something, we call them go backs, and guys fill out, there's an incident report that they got to fill out. So whose fault is it? What could have changed? And we keep those as records, and then we'll go over them with all the guys, every 3 months, every quarter. We'll go over with the guys and say, hey, look, and the reason we do it is that's all your bottom line money right there. That's all your profits is going right out the door every time you go back. And it's expensive to send 2 guys in a truck to go back. Guys think, it's a 10-minute repair. Yes, but it's an hour to drive and do all this stuff. And it's 2 guys, and it's labor, and it's the time you're not installing another shower, making profits on that end over there. So it definitely hurts a company. So we track all that stuff. And then there's guys that don't like it because they don't like to be called out, but it's one of those things. And I just let them know, hey, I'm not tracking this to show that you're a bad employee or whatnot. I'm tracking it to show, because if we see a guy that has 10 go backs in a month for, doors sagging and we got to adjust them, then there's an issue. So now we can talk about that issue, and we can see what you're doing and address it and be able to fix that so you can stop that. So we're looking for patterns. We're not looking, because we're going to have go backs, but we're looking for patterns is what we're doing. And I'm really good with jumping on it fast. So if there's an issue, I attack it right away. I don't let it sit back and then it blows up a month later when something else happens, and I bring that up and everything. So I always try to be moving forward and attack it right then and just get it out of the way. So, and it's been a success, because I have a partner in another location, and he's done the opposite, and you can totally tell. So we've talked about it and everything, and I guess that's one of my good traits, is just kind of attacking it head on right when it happens to get it out of the way.
That's so important. And I think I speak with like a lot of business owners that they feel like nitpicking, right, would actually deteriorate rapport or the loyalty someone has with you. But I found the opposite to be true. And what you're saying is going and addressing the issue, which it's not a personal thing. We're looking at data, and we're evaluating everyone based on the same set of criteria, right? Amazon has delivery time quotas, and you can argue whether or not that's morally or ethically right in that capacity, but you're looking at standardization of the business. So it is not personal. So I actually find that sense of leadership and being direct in your feedback of going, hey, you had this out it took you 2 hours. Everybody else is taking an hour and 15. Let's talk about it. And then when you're actually speaking to something that's not personal, like it's a data point, right? Then that allows for dialogue. They could say, oh, well, and then you find out they're stopping for a Slurpee at 7-Eleven and all those other kind of things. And if you can turn that back to say, hey, as a business owner, this is costing me money to do it like this, when everybody else has this, sales professionals, they all have a quota to meet. And that's because they've recognized that there's a certain threshold that is typical for the business. You want to kind of do it above to make everybody challenge, but not set it so low where people just like will do the bare minimum, right? So I think it sounds to me, and you're saying compared to another manager inside your company, you're able to kind of get to things quicker. And like you said, some of the people might not like it because they're not used to that in particularly in your field. So I would imagine that you're building a culture where there's accountability, self-accountability, where everybody kind of knows what the expectations are. And some people will opt out of that, which in the long run is good for you, right?
Yeah, exactly. I'm really big on constructive criticism and kind of just getting people better. And I've had the good employees that have left GCS have all said they've learned so much from working at GCS than anywhere they've ever worked at. Yeah. We had where we get our vehicles wrapped from. He left that company, came to our company as a sales rep, became a general manager, left, went back there, and I still got the vehicles wrapped through them. And the owner, personally, I talked to him, and he personally called me one day, and he's like, "Man, he's learned so much more from when he left working with you. It's amazing how different he is as an employee working over here again than he was when he left the first time." Yeah. And I think it's huge, and it's, but it's not for everybody. Some people take it the wrong way. They think and it's a give and a take. You can't just beat people down, right? You gotta show them the positives and everything. So anytime we have meetings and stuff, it's, we can talk about the bad things, but at the end of the conversations, we talk about all the good things and the good things they're doing. So
I know that you've expanded since 2013 from the greater Phoenix area to Denver, Austin, New York. Am I missing anywhere?
That's it right now. Vegas next month, hopefully.
Congratulations on that expansion. So now it's you and other partners and other people managing those other locations. So what do you do as a leadership team to make sure you're adopting the same principles and the systems that are working across all locations?
We'll bring people here to Phoenix and kind of show them how it's ran. The guys that we've brought on as partners, and believe it or not, one of them was like my best friend, or he is like my best friend, in Denver. And we have completely different, the way we do business, but he's a perfect, we don't butt heads at all. Like, we have no issues. It's like like if I can find 100 Toms, it would be perfect relationships in business everywhere. Like, we have no issues. Like, there's no trust issues or anything. So I think I got lucky in that aspect with him. My partner Chance, we met on social media. We talk every day. And we become best friends. And we just had the people that I've opened a company up with have the same visions and, dreams. So it's kind of been easy. So now open these new locations. It's not necessarily we're just going to open it up and train someone and put them in that position. We are looking for people that have those same visions, that are an entrepreneur, that, they're just scared to make that jump to go out on their own. But with someone that's experienced in opening companies, that's already doing it, it's easier for them to kind of be like, well, this works out perfect. So it's kind of, those people are the owner operator per se, and we're the back end, all the processes and procedures and support and marketing and all that. So it hasn't been a struggle opening up other companies. They've all been successful right off the bat. We haven't lost any money in them. So it's been pretty good.
That's amazing.
The hardest thing, I think, is just finding people right now, like the employees right now. Just the workforce is just gone. So,
of course. So you have a shared vision and values, it sounds like, with your co-owners, and the systems or the playbook that you've developed internally inside your business has allowed you to scale. And like you said, take experts in their field and turn them into business owners. So similar to, a chiropractor that had wanted to buy into a franchise or something like that. Yeah. So as a business owner, that's incredible because it allows you to infinitely scale based on shared vision and values and the systems that you've already developed. So that's really cool. Exactly. And so it sounds like hiring internally for your staff and staffing the actual work that gets done externally is a bit of a challenge right now. But so where are you finding successes in hiring, and where are you finding challenges?
Facebook definitely has not been good for trying to hire people.
Okay.
We've had success with Indeed finding people, but believe it or not, I have my main employees, one's from Texas, one's from San Diego, and one's from San Francisco. And they've all moved out here to work for us. So the culture that we've built at GCS and our branding on Instagram has attracted a lot of people in our industry, our peers. And I'm in a couple Facebook groups that are like private shower door installer Facebook groups. So I can post in there and stuff. And the last employee that moved here from San Francisco, he wanted to move to a couple places and decided to move to Phoenix and come work for GCS. So we brought him over. So we did an interview through Zoom, kind of see what he can do. We looked at some pictures of installs, and it's worked out. But I feel like that's what people are missing right now, because it's hard to like just find people in the state that you're in. And especially if you're looking for that senior lead guy, someone with experience in that industry, you're able to pull from not only your state, but now any state in the United States.
Yeah.
With social media.
And
it's failed. I mean, there's been times where it didn't work out. I hired, we have some software that we white labeled, that we can communicate with customers through. And so I can have an internal sales rep work from anywhere in the United States. And we tried with this one. It just didn't work out, but we do it all the time. Like you saw, I was on the beach and I can talk to customers and they don't know where I am.
I need you to just take a second to tell me, first of all, how many kids you have and where you just were and how many business locations you own and operate.
So I have 4 kids. I was actually in San Diego. I was in Mission Beach in San Diego. And I have 4 locations and another consulting company.
And it seems like you're happily married.
Happily married. Everything is good. Just bought a cabin up north, so I can go up there and just work from the cabin and not have to be down in the valley. So it's a give and a take. But I can shut it off. I can literally have the worst day at work and literally just completely shut it off, because tomorrow's another day and they'll deal with it then. From the beginning, I set expectations that I don't work weekends.
Wow.
I work Monday through Friday, and even starting up the business, I didn't work any weekends unless I wanted to, and there was something that was like crunch time needed to get done, but didn't work weekends. And I still don't. Like, I catch myself working more at home than I do going to the office, because I'll be doing something and I'm like, oh, I can just go handle this really quick on my computer and get it done. But for the most part, it's been easy to shut it off. I haven't been to the office in 3 weeks.
Wow. That's incredible. And every week I talk to dozens of business owners in one capacity or another. And I'm finding that there's really kind of 2 groups of people. And there's the people that are dreaming of the life that you're describing, where they can have, a family, work-life balance, be financially successful, have a crew of people that they support, are loyal, and what you're saying are even friends with, and they still enjoy what they do. And those are the people that are craving that, but doesn't seem like they're making it intentional around building their business around their lifestyle, right? They're just kind of sucked into what feels like every day. And then there's the people like you, which are very far and few between, but that have unlocked the recipe of, I could potentially work from depending upon your industry, anywhere in the world, have happy, healthy relationships, have happy, healthy self, mind, body, spirit for themselves, and be financially successful and all of that. So you're really opening up a world, particularly, which I think is unique to your industry specifically, because we just weren't brought up to think of, being in a labor intensive industry, but also being able to sit at the beach on your laptop, right? So it sounds like you've got a really good handle on your priorities in your life, your mindset of what you're going to let. Are you going to control your business, or is your business going to control you? It sounds like you've really done that. And doesn't sound like you're sugarcoating. Not every day is easy. You know, like you said, you're having a hard time getting as many people as you would like right now. But, you know, I also picked up on the fact that you said you hired someone off of Zoom. There's so many people I know that are still in the handshake deal business, where if I don't meet them face to face and have a 17-hour conversation,
right,
and I'm, you know, kind of in an advisement position with them of saying, how much is 17 of your hours as a business owner actually costing you? There's some risk reward, just as all entrepreneurs have, that taking a big risk, yeah, sure, that person could not be the right fit down the road, but there's also so many other things you could be doing inside your business. And if you set your values and principles up in the beginning and your expectations, then, you know, you're going off a pretty good gut instinct of whether or not you're going to be able to work out with someone.
That's where I think it comes in key, is your gut instinct. Like it usually tells you, like, when you feel good about something, usually it's definitely wrong sometimes, but, and that's kind of what I go off of with anything. And like, I can have, like, for example, we had a big project we did in Hudson Yards, the Billionaires Playground in New York.
Cool.
You have to be union out there to work. We had a union exemption because it was so custom that the wine cellars that we partnered with, a wine cellar company out here that we did out there. It was one of those things where, like, yeah, it was in the back of my head the whole time. We had this design that they wanted, and we literally didn't create the mock-up until like right before we were going to go out there and start installing everything. And at that point, it became real because I actually looked it up. I'm like, well, what is Hudson Yards? Like, what are they doing out there? And then I realized it was the largest private real estate development in modern history. And it was like, oh, all right, well, this is a big deal. But like that thing, like, it didn't bother me. Like, it was just, this is what we're going to do. We'll do it. And we've done custom stuff all the time. Let's just do what we do and knock it out. And it's kind of one of those things. I feel like I'm rambling onto a different story, but, it's just one of those things where your gut instinct kind of tells you what needs to be done. And I've like hiring people. I've hired people where I felt bad about, like, I don't think they're the right fit, and they don't work out, but we needed bodies, so we'd hire them anyways. Or like, I walk into the office and I meet someone for the first time, and literally you're on my first impression of them, and they walk out the door and I'm in my general manager's office. I'm like, yeah, that guy's not going to make it here. And he's like, wait, I think he's good. And I'm like, and then literally a month later, he's gone because he just doesn't work out. And I'm like, it's just those things, like, your gut tells you and it's been that way. It's been that way with anything I do. Like, I can do something on a whim and just, you know, feel good about it or not. So,
yeah. And it sounds like, too, like, now it can feel like such a desperate time to try to find people or, you know, recover from business. You know, some industries are not doing as well. But it sounds like, you know, trusting your gut and not sacrificing the whole for a little thing, right? So if you're missing one person, sure, you might have to turn down a couple jobs or postpone them until you can fill that role. Mm-hmm. But your business as a whole, or the quality of the culture that you're building, or the quality that you're providing your customers, it sounds like you go with your gut instincts on that and don't sacrifice quality for these impulsive kind of needs to fill something right now, right?
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. And, you know, we get it from our customers. They're not happy sometimes, but it's one of those things, as long as you're communicating with them, and that's what we pride ourselves on, is our communication, is let them know. Even if it's something bad, you got to let them know, because it's better than just sitting there with their money when they're trying to figure out what's going on. There's people just trying to build schedules around you. So they're trying to figure out what's going on with stuff. So. Yeah.
And communication is key, internally and externally. I mean, I worked in industries where I would joke that, like, my office as the manager was like the employee complaint department, but also it was the client complaint department, right? And the thing was, I was just literally just super honest. It was, hey, this is how your hours were, or here's all the work that you declined that you could have had. And it wasn't like this personal, emotional story. It was, this is the facts. And when talking to a client, I said, a staff member didn't show up. I didn't try to lie or make an excuse. I was just like, so sorry. I'd make a joke. Usually I'd say, I'm so sorry. If I could have driven them myself, I would have, but it was 4:00 in the morning and I was putting out other fires or something. And my staff used to think I was like incredible with client relations. And it just came down to telling the truth. And same thing with leadership is, I think a lot of times we get concerned with, you have dozens and dozens of staff. It's like everybody has a family life, everyone has a personal life, but we're trying to base business decisions while also being conscientious that, we're all working together. So it sounds like honesty is the best policy there.
Yeah. And I tell all my guys, tell me the truth. Like whether you messed up on a job or not, tell me the truth. I will always defend you and the company, but I don't want to get caught off guard and get caught in a lie and defend you for something that you did. And it turns, because I take it personal with the company because it's what I built. It's like, it's part of me. So, it's part of my reputation. So I take it personal. So I've always told them, look, tell me the truth. We might talk about it, but it's not going to be that bad. But as long as I know the truth and I'm able to talk us out of this problem, then I will, but just don't get me caught off guard. And that's the biggest thing. And I tell people all the time, like, we are one, like, on our old shirts, it used to say, we are GCS and we're a team. And that's how we operate. So.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I bet you get a little bit more flies with honey when you're telling them, just come to me, tell me the truth. And you're sitting there saying, I'll take the blame, right? It's my business. I'll cover for you. But works out a lot better than screaming down someone's throat and then them trying to sweep something under the rug or, and in your industry or lots of, service-based industries, these could be very dangerous situations, right? Like if you're installing something with fire or glass or, something that could potentially hurt someone, don't sweep those things under the rug. And if you create this safe, comfortable environment where it's challenging too, but people are coming to you because they respect you and you have their back and you're saying, hey, listen, tell me once or twice. If it keeps on happening, we have a bigger issue here, but it sounds like that saves you a lot of headaches in the long run. So you've expanded to Colorado, Texas, New York. I just heard Vegas. What are your other plans for growth?
The beginning of the year, the goal is to open up a location every month for the next year. It's a big goal. I'm not sure if we'll hit it, but we're going to try. That's what we plan. So we already have everything broken down with budgets and stuff, how we need to do things. So I think, as long as we find the right people in the right places, it could work. So I know after Vegas, I think it's going to be Houston. That's next.
Very cool.
And then maybe San Antonio or kind of East Dallas area, McKinney and all that. So.
Awesome. That's a great area. So I have a lot of connections always hitting me up for jobs and things like that. So please feel free to share what types of positions are you hiring for or will you be hiring for in the near future? You named some of the locations and maybe what's baseline qualifications you're looking for.
Mainly we're always we're always accepting applications because we're always growing, obviously. So we're helpers, people that want to get into the trade to learn, a skilled trade.
Great.
Even lead installers or measure guys, office staff. Phoenix is the home base for everything. So all these new locations, we literally can run everything out of Phoenix. So we can have a team of people for Colorado or New York that out of Phoenix. So inside sales reps that want to learn how to sell shower doors. And kind of that. So
great. Where can people connect with you and learn more about GCS?
They can shoot an email over to GCS at gcsglassdesign.com for now. Or Instagram, GCS Glass, and on Facebook, GCS Glass Mirror.
Cool. Amazing story, Brandon. Thank you so much for jumping on. And I am so excited for your success and continued growth. You are super ambitious and it's very inspiring.
Thank you.
And thank you, everybody, for tuning into the Systems Culture Growth podcast with my guest, Brandon Nicastro. If you want to connect and learn more about Brandon, you can shoot him an email, go to the website or his Instagram. And if you'd like to learn more about SCG Consulting Group or myself, you can find me at systemsculturegrowth.com, or I'm over at LinkedIn at Jessica Holsap.